The Galactic Council chamber stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian, its vaulted ceiling displaying a living map of the known universe. 743 species had representatives seated in the amphitheater, each delegation positioned according to their star system's coordinates. At the very center, where Sol should have been marked, sat an empty crystalline chair that had remained vacant for 217 years. Anna Chen stood at the human observation deck, her fingers pressed against the transparent barrier that separated visitors from the council floor. Her reflection stared back at her, dark eyes burning with the same fire that had driven humanity to build an empire among the stars without ever asking permission. "They're voting on the Terran question again," Leo Martinez said, joining her at the railing. His military uniform bore the insignia of Earth's Deep Space Defense Fleet, 3 stars gleaming on his collar. 5th time this decade. Below them, Ambassador Vekthal of the Gentari Collective rose from his seat, his forearms spreading wide in what passed for their species' gesture of diplomatic outrage. His translator rendered his clicking speech into flat, emotionless standard. For 2 centuries, the humans have expanded across 47 star systems. They build their stations in unclaimed space. They terraform worlds that no one wanted. They trade with whoever wishes to trade with them, and yet they refuse to acknowledge this council's authority. They refuse to sit in their designated seat and accept their place in the galactic order. A murmur rippled through the assembly. Some species chirped agreement. Others remained silent, their bioluminescent bodies dimming in what Anna had learned to recognize as contemplation. Leo leaned closer to her, his voice low. "He makes it sound like we're rebels. We're not rebelling against anything. We just never asked to join their club in the first place." Anna smiled grimly. She remembered the stories her grandmother had told her, how Earth's first contact with the Galactic Council had occurred when humanity was still confined to their own solar system. The Council had sent a delegation with a simple message: submit your technology for evaluation. Accept our trade restrictions. Limit your expansion to Council-approved sectors. Sign the subordination protocols. Humanity had read the documents carefully. Then they had politely declined. The Council had been shocked. No species had ever refused membership. The benefits were obvious: access to advanced technology, protection under galactic law, trading rights across all Council space. What kind of primitives would turn down such an offer? But humanity had looked at the fine print. They saw species who had been members for thousands of years yet remained technologically stagnant, their innovation throttled by Council regulations. They saw worlds that had traded their sovereignty for security, only to find themselves unable to defend their own interests when the Council's priorities shifted. Humanity had made their choice. They would forge their own path. "The humans are a threat to order," Vekthal continued, his voice rising. "They spread their influence without oversight. They make alliances with non-Council species. They build weapons we have not approved. They do what every species should be free to do," a new voice interrupted. Anna's breath caught. It was Ambassador Lirel of the Kashari, one of the oldest species in the Council. The Kashari rarely spoke, their crystalline forms generally content to observe and vote in silence. When they did speak, the entire chamber listened. "The humans have committed no crimes," Lirel continued, her voice like wind chimes in a storm. "They have attacked no one. They have honored every treaty they have signed with individual species. They simply refuse to sign away their autonomy to this body. Perhaps we should ask ourselves why that troubles us so deeply." Bechthal's translator emitted a harsh burst of static, the Gentari equivalent of a sputter. "They refuse their seat. They deny the Council's authority." "They deny nothing," Lirel replied calmly. "They simply do not seek our approval." "There is a difference between defiance and independence," Leo grinned. "I think I like her." Anna did too, but she knew the real reason the Council kept having this debate. It wasn't about law or order or galactic harmony. It was about pride. For millennia, the Council had been the unquestioned center of galactic civilization. Every species came to them eventually, seeking membership, seeking validation, seeking permission to exist on the galactic stage. Except humanity. Humans had looked at the empty seat reserved for them and walked away. They had built their own networks, their own alliances, their own future. In just 2 centuries, human trade routes connected dozens of independent worlds. Human technology, developed without Council restrictions, had surpassed most Council species in critical areas. Human diplomats negotiated as equals with everyone they met, not as supplicants seeking approval. And every year, more species watched the humans and wondered, what if we had said no too? The vote is being called, Leo observed. Anna watched as the chamber lights dimmed and the voting crystals began to glow. Red for censure, blue for acceptance, white for continued observation. The results appeared in the holographic display. 512 white, 143 blue, 88 red. No decision. Again. Vekthal slammed 3 of his 4 fists on his podium. This is unacceptable. We cannot simply ignore. We are not ignoring them, Lyral said, her crystalline body refracting the chamber's light into rainbow patterns. We are recognizing reality. The humans have shown us something we had forgotten, that a species does not need our permission to be great. Perhaps that empty seat is not a symbol of their failure to join us. Perhaps it is a symbol of our failure to understand that not everyone wants what we are offering. Anna turned away from the railing, Leo following her as they headed toward the exit. Where are we going? He asked. Back to the embassy. I need to send a report to Earth. What are you going to tell them? Anna smiled. That the seat is still empty, and that we should keep it that way. Behind them, the Galactic Council continued to debate the Terran question, their voices echoing through the vast chamber. And at the center of it all, the crystalline chair remained empty, not a vacancy waiting to be filled, but a monument to the simple truth that humanity had understood from the very beginning. Acceptance was something you earned, not something you begged for, and humanity had never been very good at begging.